Down.
That song sounds so sweet. That piece leaves a bitter taste in my mouth. We describe music in a myriad of ways, and surprisingly, many of our descriptive terms are not related to our sense of hearing at all. And it doesn't stop at taste. We describe music with all 5 of our senses. But what does it actually mean to say that music sounds dark, bright, sounds blue, smooth, sharp, thin, cold, warm, or stale? A lot of what I'm about to say is inspired by Chapter 5 of The Anthropology of Music by Alan P. Merriam. If you're interested, do have a read of that. Now let's have a conversation to see where we end up with. Synesthesia. There's a phenomenon called synesthesia, whereby stimulation in one of our senses leads to an involuntary stimulation in another sense. A very common one is when someone hears a musical note and immediately visualizes a specific color. Often, individuals who have extremely accurate pitch memory or perfect pitch associate fixed pitches to specific colors. But I've yet to hear of someone listening to a piece of music and then tasting something in their mouth. But that would be really, really cool. So while synesthesia does occur and much research has been done on it, we often mistake true synesthesia with symbolism, associations, and cultural conditioning. So take the color blue for example. In Western culture and in the English language, the word blue is associated with sadness, melancholy. In fact, the musical genre blues has its roots in emotional and physical hardships, which have informed our present association with the word and the visual sensation when we look at something blue. However, the color blue in itself doesn't carry any of these emotional sensations. It's purely a visual phenomenon. If we listen to a piece of music and feel as though it creates a sensation which we associate with the color blue, and as a result visualize the color blue in our mind, that's not true synesthesia. It's different from when we hear something and actually see the color blue in our mind's eye. As opposed to true synesthesia, Merriam uses another term called intersense modalities. Though I'm oversimplifying it, it's akin to how I've described listening to music and feeling the color blue with all its cultural associations and thereafter visualizing it in our mind. There's nothing inherently wrong with using intersense modalities to describe music, and its effectiveness has led to many descriptive terms unrelated to the sense of hearing, but becoming mainstays in the professional world of music and music production. Now, some common examples and their implied meanings include dark or bright sound, which means an emphasis in low or high frequencies respectively. A smooth sound refers to high interconnectedness between linearly arranged notes. A cold sound means something lacking in emotion. An example would be modern pianos, as opposed to violins, for example, have often been described as cold by very critical listeners due to their rigid, equal-tempered tuning. Sweet sound, pleasing, relaxing. A muddy sound is a negative descriptor, where individual notes and instruments start to blend into one another and lose their clarity. As useful as intersense modalities are in communicating about music, we must recognize that these sensorial associations are ultimately culturally conditioned. And that means we have to be extra careful not to assume that others will share our associations to specific words. The color blue, for example, symbolizes a wide variety of emotions and values across various communities all around the world. Perhaps to someone else, the idea of brightness could be related to warmth and a full-bodied sound, as opposed to an emphasis in the high frequencies that in the Western world, that's how it's normally associated. So amid all these differences, it's important to acknowledge that different associations are equally valid. What I love about this topic is how it illuminates the interconnectedness of different art forms with their respective emphasis on different senses. We experience each art form differently, but we feel similar and related emotions, revealing how we can blend art forms together meaningfully. I've had the joy of delving deep into blending music and visual art through my journey pieces, where I play music along to individuals painting their life stories on canvas. At the same time, it surfaces the importance of recognizing and appreciating difference, as our personal lived experiences and cultural conditioning have shaped us in unique and diverse ways. What a joy to behold!